All right, everybody, we're back here. This time we're doing SmackDown Live. Kris, how you doing? You confident?
Doing pretty good. Yeah, well, everybody, I am for the week. We had someone request to work with the Blue brand, and Shane here is gonna get his little tryout. Please let us know below how you think about this thing. I will also be obviously giving my input on the thing, and we will see if Shane's gonna be continuing to work with the Blue brand going forward after this week.
All I can think is like the GM evaluation,
The
essentially.
GM
Yes,
evaluation, yeah,
Yeah.
like Mullins
this
has
is
like the
GM evaluation here.
the little checklist.
Yeah. I wonder who
All
would be
right.
helping out Raw next week. Just
Ooh.
alludes. Just alludes. How you doing, Zach? How you doing, Zach? All right.
Oh
I
man,
that.
I'm not wrong.
So SmackDown
Doing
decided to go.
fast.
SmackDown decided to go with a pre-show. So you guys just go right
Yeah, we
into it.
got a
Just
pre-show
full
going on.
reign.
All right, so we got Anderson and Gallows defeating Heavy Machinery, and a pre-show about that had terrible wrestling and no crowd heat.
That's
And
okay. That's what the pre-show is
that's
for,
so
is just
yeah,
building
that's
shit up.
yeah, we're building people up. Lost Sullivan just wrecks our truth, and at E plus. He at least did somewhat decent. He did close to our
Yeah, like I
truth.
said, don't even worry about most of that. It's mostly just building there, Shane.
Yeah, then we got McIntyre taking on Cruz and beats him. And then get to the show. So we open up with Shane and Paige saying that they're going to usher in a new era to SmackDown Live, or another new era. And they're interrupted by Paul Heyman, who says this may be a new era in WWE, but it's always going to be the same beast. His client. And then he gets interrupted when Shock the System cuts in and Undisputed Era comes out. And they're like, Paul, there's no need to hype us up. We got this. And then Paul's like, I wasn't talking about you three. I was actually talking about Brock Lesnar. And then Paige and Shane are like, well, since you three want to come out and try to hijack the show, we'll give you guys a chance. So each of you are going to be in a singles match to qualify for the Fatal 4-Way match featuring said Brock Lesnar for the inaugural World Championship. And that kicks off with Roddy taking on Rey Mysterio and getting the upset win with a fast roll-up. So Roderick Strong going on to join Brock Lesnar in the World Championship match in a C-. Following that up, a tag team title tournament is announced featuring said teams of Usos, Heath and Rhino, Ascension, New Day, and, more to come next week. And we start off the tournament with Slater and Rhino defeating the Colognes, advancing to the semifinals? Yeah. And then after their match, Sanity comes out. And they start playing the little mind games. They try to intimidate Rhino and Slater, doing the usual Sanity stuff. Alexander Wolf had problems due to the language barrier. Apparently, Wolf doesn't speak English.
Oh, we'll teach him.
Yeah, we'll teach him. It's fine.
Paige here.
Backstage. Paige here. Backstage. Baron comes. He's like, Paige, I know you're sleeping your way to this GM spot. I should be the GM. I did such a good job on Raw. I could probably do a better job than you here on SmackDown. And Paige was like, well, since you like running your mouth and you want to barge into my office, how about you have a match tonight? As the actual GM and the better GM of WWE, I'm going to put you in a match against a mystery opponent. And Baron's obviously not happy about this and storms out of the office as Paige gets on a phone and is assumingly looking for somebody to sleep with tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Next up, back in the ring, Becky as the man makes an open challenge. She's like, I'm the man. I want to fight tonight. Who wants to fight the man? Lacey Effin comes out, and she just starts dogging on Becky Lynch. She's like, you are what's wrong with this women's division and this women's revolution. Calling yourself the man. How sexist can you be? Denouncing your own gender, Becky. And then they have their match where Becky Lynch obviously gets the win. And then following that up, we go backstage once again to see the Undisputed Era plotting backstage of how they're going to get the rest of them in this match against Brock. And after that, we get the Tag Team Title Tournament continuing with the New Day taking on Ascension. We're in a kind of a below average match. We got the Ascension defeating New Day, and what could also be considered another upset, with Victor pinning Big E. And that causes some tension because, Big E, he's like, I didn't like that. I got pinned. Xavier, where were you at? Were you too busy on the phone with Paige? Huh? Is that it? And he just starts smacking Xavier around and kind of hinting at that heel turn. He's like, I'm starting to get sick of Xavier. I don't think I want him as a partner anymore. So we'll see what that leads to next week. Following that up, we got Aleister Black coming soon to SmackDown Live. He gets his own little vignette. And then afterwards, Kyle O'Reilly defeats Jeff Hardy in another upset of the night as he hits him with the Brainbuster and gets the pin. So now it's Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Brock Lesnar in the Fatal 4-Way match. So can Adam Cole finish out the trilogy and have Undisputed Era go against Brock for the title? Backstage, once again, Sanity is laughing over the mind games that they just played on Heath and Rhino. And while they're laughing, Nikki gets distracted by something. She's like, hey, who's this? And it's Chelsea Green kind of having a little tense stare off at Nikki. And Nikki's just like, you want to play? You want to play with Nikki? This is kind of that tense stare
Please tell me she's like doing the Chelsea Green like drunk thing,
Yeah,
she's like half alcoholic.
That's why they have a little showdown. Baron's already in the ring. He's like, huh?
Just half.
Anyways, Baron's already in the ring. He's like, who's my opponent? And then all of a sudden you hear da 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 da, and then Daniel Bryan comes out, and we get a pretty decent match with Daniel Bryan and Baron Corbin. But Bryan obviously wins. Next up, tonight's main event is announced. It is Adam Cole taking on the Architect, the other man, Seth Rollins, in tonight's main event. Afterwards, we have a Cruiserweight Showcase match where Andrade Almas defeats Mustafa Ali, Nick Miller, Cedric, Ricochet, and Buddy Murphy, where he pins Mustafa Ali with a La Sombra. Next up, we go backstage in the middle of like what can only be described as like a complete ambush. The Riot Squad laying waste to every woman they see in sight. And it's just them really letting the women's division know that they're on lock and that it's the Riot Squad's division. And then up next, we got our co-main, which is EC3 defeating Bobby Roode in a pretty decent match. And now up next is our main event with Seth Rollins and Adam Cole in our last Fatal 4-Way qualifying match of the night. And to no one's surprise, Seth Rollins defeats Adam Cole despite the interference from Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong.
Adam Cole, baby.
And then to close out the show, we got a 3-on-1 attack on Seth Rollins. It's just Undisputed Era, just laying waste to Seth. And then all of a sudden, Brock's theme hits. He comes down to the ring and he just lays Undisputed Era out. He lays Seth Rollins out. He lays everybody out. And that's how we're closing out the show. It's Brock just standing tall with everybody just laid out. It's chaos. And that's how we end the show. And overall, we got a 3 and 1/4 star C. Could be worse. Could have been a D or a C minus.
I feel pretty confident.
Better.
And next time we see you guys, we'll be going into Monday Night Raw. The very last week of this month is going to host with the Royal Rumble. So that'll be interesting how we plan that out. Other than that, keep it safe, everyone, and we'll chalk this up as a victory for Raw for this week. Till next time.